Hello, I'm back. This is part 3. I do believe it's part 3. And I've done the little frill across the edge of the cardigan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work up the sides. For those of you that did not decide to watch this video to start off with and ran away with it and then went, oh, I've got a really wobbly edge because I thought I knew what I was going to do. Thanks for coming back so you can rectify what happened. Right, so whether you do the single crochet over the end or the double crochet, depending where you're from, whichever you do, you're going to skip out these bits now and you're just going to work over the post, and you're going to work, this is the single crochet stitch if you're in the US, or it's a double crochet if you're in the UK, and you're going to work 2 over the post. You're going to skip all of this area and work 2 over the post. Yeah, so remember, so when I was telling you in the beginning, if you have watched the beginning, I was new at the time when I was actually designing this pattern, and I could only crochet in US terms, because I'd learned from watching YouTube mostly of like the names and learning how to do, like, to crochet and to write the patterns. So yeah, so it's just making it so it just makes a nice straight edge. It just folds really nicely, so you don't need to worry about going in every single little gap. So yeah, so we work all the way up to the top. Now if you want to do the frilly, you want to do the collar, and do you know what? Yeah, I am. I'm gonna have to pause anyway. I'm gonna have to pause. I have to pause this video as well in a minute. I made that many pieces to be able to try and help me. I keep leaving pieces behind in my other room. But I've got all of these cardigans to complete as well by the time I get to the end. Whoops. And so 2 into there, and then 2 into here. And I am going to have to pause because I need something. So I'm just going to pause my video temporarily. I'll be back. There we are, I'm back. Right, the reason why I went off is because so the next stitch, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working into the top of this chain there. Excuse me. Now we've done that one. Now you're going to mark that stitch. Oh, excuse me. Right, so we're going to use, I'm using a piece of yarn, obviously. You can use one of those nice little stitch markers. Okay, and then what we're going to do, so that was our first stitch into that chain. You can work this one as you go along. When I was actually originally doing it, I just used to leave that out, and that was like good enough to mark it. But then when I realised actually if you work it in, I lost that stitch. So that's why we marked that one. So that's into that stitch there. So then we're going to work 1 stitch into, like, so you're going on, this is the beginning chain, so you're going to go under that 2 strands as you're going along. So if you want to do just the plain version of the cardigan, you're just going to just do this stitch all the way across down the other side, and then you can meet me in the video where I'm going to do the sleeves. But if you want to do the pretty collar on the edge, you need this bit of instructions here. So we're going to keep on working. So so this was our first bunch of 3 that we've gone past, just so that you know where we're at. In my pattern, I do actually tell you exactly how many stitches you need to count to so you get to the right place. And we've got 1 more stitch to do there. And so this one is the second corner. Yeah, so that was the first group of 3. This is the second. From here, you want to work 2 stitches in each of the chains. And I know this looks really ugly and looks like you've crammed so much stuff into one space. And you'll think, what on earth does that look like? But obviously, when we get to the end result, you can see why we did what we did. But so, yeah, so all those years ago when I was writing it and I was experimenting, I wanted to have the frill. I wanted it to be pretty. I wanted it to be whimsical and delicate and feminine. And so that's why I did what I did. And I say, obviously, if you want to know the story of the cardigan, go to the very first video, which is, well, by the time we get to this one, the other one obviously will be published. But I know I've been saying in my other videos, I've been going along. See, the YouTube algorithm really stopped working for me after I'd mentioned the Voynich manuscript and crochet in the same video title. Right, so when we get to this one here, we're doing 2. Yep. And then from this point onwards, we're going to do 1 all the way to the end, if I can find my stitch now, because I seem to have lost it. Oh, I know there's a stitch there. There we go. It's just because it got tight with all the other 2 bits that I was doing. Excuse me. Oh dear, do you know the change of the weather is making me feel like it's like it's lovely. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the nicer weather in the UK, but it's up and down. It's cold and sunny, hot and cold, raining, then sunny again. So, and I feel like I've got a bit of a tickle going off there. Right, so I've got all the way to there. You do not need to work into the end there as far as I'm unaware, but we're just going to check in my collar section of a pattern just to see am I right or am I wrong. Right there, so we do that there. Right, so it says collar. Did that one to mark that one there. Yeah, 2 in there. And it said into the next 11. So starting from that point there. So that was where I did my last 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do need to work 1 stitch in the very end here. Yeah, just so that we know. Oh, I've gone into that space rather than to the chain. I've gone under 1 loop there. That doesn't look so good. I'm trying to get underneath 2 loops. There we go. And 1 stitch there. All right, so that's the end. Now, if you was going to do just this plain one, you just come all the way down now and you slip stitch into the beginning there. However, because we're going to do the actual collar, we're going to do a chain of 3. Turn. How many minutes am I in? I'm all right. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to skip this one here and work into this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to just work the treble crochet if you're in the UK, or the double crochet if you're in the US, and you're just going to work this all the way back to the other side. Okay? And what you need to do is you need to do this for this. You're going to have a total of 3 rows of this. Yeah? When we get to that point, so you're just going to keep on going all the way across. Right, so I am conscious of time, of like how long I'm doing things, so I'm going to do what I did with the other ones, move that one out of the way and get the pink one. Ugh. Just so you can see, because when you've done the 3 rows. So when it's like that, obviously, yeah, it looks a bit weird, but it does sit nicely now, so you can actually see. So even at that stage, can you see that? It does make a nice, neat little collar. But we're tidying up edges. So once we've done, we've got the 3 rows. Obviously, we want, oh gosh, I've got myself in a right tiz was there. Right, there we go, that's better. So what we need to do now is we're going to work over these posts here, and we're going to do the single crochet if you're in the US, and double crochet in the UK. So that's 2 in that one, 2 in this one, and then we're going to do 1 into this one, and we're going to work 1, because it tells you to work into that stitch there. That's why we mark that stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain of 3. That seems ever so big there. 1, 2, 3, turn. So turn it, and then you're going to work into that stitch there. And then you're going to do in single crochet, chain 3, and you single crochet again. Or double crochet, chain 3, depending where you're from, obviously. Yep. And then what you're going to do with this one is do this. Go up to the top of the collar. Oh, I nearly dropped my ball of yarn there. Oh my days. Into there. 1, 2, 3. Into there. We've got another stitch there that's just peeping. 1, 2, 3. And now, from now onwards, we're going to be working into the tops. We've got this little bit here, there, that needs to be worked into. We'll do that bit. There. And then from now onwards, you're going to, so it's going to be in the tops of the double crochet or the treble crochet. But in the tops of your stitches, all the way across, you're just going to go your single crochet or your double crochet, 2, 3, and back in the same space. And you're going to do that all the way across to the other side, all the way right down to when we get to here. I'll show you what we're going to do when we get to there. Right, I'm going to have to pause the video so I can do that bit, because I didn't prepare that piece. So I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, I've made it to right to the end here, so I'm just going to just do one more group of 3 like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work straight over these posts. So we're going to do this single crochet or double crochet, depending where you're from, chain 3, and then work back into there, and then work a second one, and 1, 2, 3, and back into the same space, and then into the next, over the next post, 1, 2, 3. I hope that like you've been able to see everything properly, and if not, I do apologise. 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. I've done my 2 in there. I only did 1 in there. Look, let's go back. Supposed to be doing 2. So that's over that post there, and then do another one. 1, 2, 3. There. So there's 2 over each of these 3 posts of this side of the collar, just so that it matches up the best it can to the other side. There. And then from now onwards, what we're going to do is, so we're going to skip this bit here. We don't need to work in that one. So this is the posts. We're just going to work our way down to the other to the end now. So it's just 2 stitches over each post. We're going to ignore the row of the single crochet, and we're just working over the posts at the end, and we're just doing 2, because that gives us the nice straight edge to be able to do that. Now if you wanted to, you can go up and down the sides a bit to be able to make some buttonholes, but I decided to do the button loops for mine because that's what I did back then, even though I did learn how to do buttonholes because I was selling little purses that had buttonholes. But anyway, that's beside the point. Oh, the memories that came back with this cardigan. But anyway, I know now that I've given this cardigan some lovely new memories, and that I've made a difference to it, and I've made a difference to me, and also sharing the real secrets of the cardigan and little bits and bobs. I feel like that I just feel better in myself. Right, last bit here, do 1, 2, and then we need to slip stitch into where we've done, and that will finish off there. And I just need to cut that off. Okay, so there we go. So at this point, this is where you've got your options. Okay, your options are, you can say I want to carry on and make it a cardigan, or I'm going to say actually no, I'm going to leave it as a dress. So then you can, what you can do is up this straight edge here, you can just use this tail end just to weave that together. I'd only do it up to there, so you've got plenty of room for head hole, and then make a buttonhole towards the top. Because if we turn it over this way round, you see, look, it's very pretty. Oops, sorry, there we go. It's still very pretty. You can do an edge of single crochet around those just to tidy that up if you wanted to. Right, so that's all we've got to on this bit. And the next video, we're going to be doing just the sleeves. That's all we've got left to do. So I shall see you in that one. Thank you, bye.